Hi there, my name is Maria Guriyeva. I'm the founder of Studyamerica, and we help international students get accepted to top US universities. In this video, let's talk about deadlines. And deadlines are extremely important to know. First, because they're different from deadlines in other countries while you are applying to a university. And second, because knowing your deadlines can help you to better prepare, to better build the preparation plan and actually do everything on time so that by the deadline, your application is excellent. Let's go. Before we begin, please subscribe to my channel. There are a lot of very useful videos on this channel about applying to the United States. And about the deadlines in the United States, it's extremely important to understand that they're probably different from what you expect and from the deadlines in your country. When we're applying to a US university, we need to prepare everything by December of the final year at your school or the final year at your university. So you get your decision in April, typically in April, and then in September, you start studying. So we apply by December, then in April we get the decision, and then we have the entire summer to prepare, and in September we start studying. And I know that in a lot of countries, the deadlines are much later. The deadlines are in the summer, so that in September you can start studying, so 3 months before you start studying. In the United States, it's 9 months before you start studying at university. And unfortunately, a lot of international students don't know that. So they actually just start in September of their final year. They start their final year at their school or university, and they think they have pretty much the entire year to prepare and to apply. And then they unfortunately realize they only have 2 or 3 months. And this is too short to get everything ready, to prepare for all your exams, to gather all the documents, to write amazing essays, to actually research universities. 2 months is a very, very small time. So unfortunately, these people have to skip a year. They have to graduate from their school or university, and then apply before next December, and then only start studying in the next September, which is a year break from their graduation. And this happens a lot. So one thing that I want you to remember is that the deadlines are in December, most likely. Most popular deadlines are in December. And so you need to build your preparation plan so that it finishes by December, which means you shouldn't start in the September or the final year, which is very popular time to start. No, you have to start 1 year before, preferably 1 year before, in January of not your final year, but the year before. So this is kind of weird, and I want you to remember that because this happens a lot, and this is unfortunate when people start studying, start preparing, only start making their plans, and then they realize they only have 2 months, and then they have to replan everything. So start early. And the important thing about starting early is that the more time you have for your preparation, the better are your results. So if you have enough time to preparing for your exams, you get a better score. If you have more time preparing your essays, you get better essays. And this helps you to get into better university, and also this helps you to get better financial aid package and actually maybe even study there for free, which is also possible. So the more time you have for preparation, the more success you're going to gain. And this is very obvious, and this is actually not just very obvious, but this is practically true. If you want to get accepted to top US universities and you want to know where to start and what kind of steps you need to take to get there, please visit my free masterclass. The link is in the description, and on this free masterclass, I'll talk about all the steps necessary to reach your goal of getting into the best US university and getting financial aid. I'll explain you the entire process so that you have all the clarity that you need to start this process and actually succeed in the end of it. So please do not miss my masterclass. The link is in the description. What is also important to know is that the deadlines, although I just said that it's in December, it is actually different from university to university, and they have all kinds of different deadlines. I would like to focus your attention to December, but actually that can vary. And the December deadline is the most popular deadline. Sometimes it's January 1st, January 2nd, January 5th, but somehow around the end of December, because, it's Christmas and it's New Year. So if the deadline is 1st of January, you probably want to prepare in December and get everything ready before this whole fiesta starts. Some universities have deadlines even earlier. There is such thing as early decision and early action, and this is when you apply earlier than the regular deadline. And the earlier deadline is November 1st. So it's actually 2 months before the real deadline. So if you start in September, you have even less time. So November 1st deadline might be beneficial for you if you want to apply early, actually get your decision not in April, but in December, just 2 months later. And show your interest. Show that you're seriously considering this university and you decided to apply early. Early decision is different from early action. Early decision is only for one university. You can only apply for early decision to one university. And if you get accepted, you have to go there. You actually promise, if I get accepted, I'll go. And the early action is different. You can apply to early action to all the universities that have early action. And for example, Ivy League schools and other top schools don't have early action at all. They only have early decision. But if the university has early action, and then you have a group of those universities, you can apply to all of them by November 1st, just for the sake of getting your decision in December. And you don't have to promise to them anything. Some deadlines are just earlier. It's not early decision, it's not early action. They don't like this January thing, and they have their own thing. For example, UC Berkeley, UCLA, all the system of University of California, they have their deadlines on November 30th, the end of November. So kind of like 1 month before everybody else. And this is also important to remember. Some universities might have deadlines on January 2nd, but then they have a scholarship deadline, priority deadline for scholarship consideration. If you want to be considered for a scholarship, you need to apply not by January, but actually again in November. And then you will be considered for scholarships. And it's very unfortunate to miss that opportunity, to forget about it, to not do enough research, and then realize, oh, now I can't afford it. Now I cannot be qualified for the scholarship because I missed the scholarship deadline. Long story short, you have to keep track of your deadlines. Ideal, the whole idea of deadlines is kind of focused in the end of December, beginning of January. But you have to be careful about all the deadlines and actually research them very well. Some universities, on the other hand, have later deadlines. And some universities have deadlines in February, some in March, and then some universities don't have deadlines at all. And their logic is, you send your application, we review it within a month or two, and then we tell you. And if we have spaces, then we're going to consider your application. If you have that, and this is called rolling admissions, so no deadlines, it's completely flexible, send it whenever it's ready. I still suggest that you send it, by December, because if you postpone with it, there might be very few places left at those universities. You're still preparing for all these other schools. Might as well prepare that one and forget about it in December. Some programs have completely different deadlines. For example, MBA programs in some universities, they have waves of deadlines. For example, the MBA program might have the first wave in September, so it's even earlier. It's not January, it's not December, it's not November, it's September. So, you just started your final year at your university, it's September, and you still have this entire year. Oops, the deadline is passed for the MBA program. So the deadline is actually 1 year before you start studying. But this is the first wave. And then in the first wave, they have a lot of applications and a lot of seats are already taken. Then those people that applied by September, they learn about the decision in December. Then in December, they have the second wave deadline, and they still have places left, and about actually half of the places are still left. And you apply there, but you still know that a lot of the competitors, They know about December, so they probably skip the first wave and then, oh, great, December is still there. And much more people are applying in the second wave at those universities, at MBA programs, most oftenly. So it's better to apply earlier. It's better to apply by September. You have less competition. Kind of the same idea as early decision, early action. But then, for example, you apply in December, and then they took all those seats for the first wave of students. They took the rest of the seats to the second wave of students. And they have the third wave of students, of applications. And that third wave deadline is in March. And that might give you, some joy, okay, as I have a later deadline, I can apply by May. But no, because in May, they only have those spots left that they already gave to somebody on the first wave or in the second wave, and then those people rejected it. So they have maybe 3 places left, like maybe 5. So they have very, very few seats left. Sometimes they might not have any seats left at all by March deadline. And so if you're applying to the third wave, this is extremely competitive because you're competing against all those people that forgot about it and actually decided to postpone by March, or they just realized, in January they thought, I want to actually study on the MBA program. And then they figure out, the deadline is still in 2 months, I can make it. And so all these people are applying to the third wave. And the competition is crazily big because they only have just few spots left. And in the first wave and in the second wave, they have half of the class left available to those who qualify. So it's extremely important, again, to know your deadlines because it can help you build a better preparation plan and also prepare much better and also have much more time and prepare for your exams and for your essays and all your documents much better and actually get full financial aid and get into the university of your dreams. And also, it is not fun to miss a deadline and have to miss a year. So it's also extremely important to know your deadlines, or to miss a deadline and lose the opportunity to apply for a scholarship. This is also very sad. Please pay attention to deadlines. When you're researching your universities, pay close attention. This is the regular deadline. Do they have an early deadline? Do they have a priority deadline? Do they have different deadlines? And take notes. Take notes, put it to your calendar or to your table where you have the list of your universities, and prepare knowing the timeline. If you like this video, please press the like button and subscribe to my channel. There are a lot of very useful videos about applying to the United States. And if you don't find any topic on our channel, or if you have a question, please share in the comments because I will gladly shoot a video about your question or about the topic that interests you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next videos and on my free masterclass. Bye-bye!